Well, hello, Robert Heffernan with EndoTech, and this is Market Vitals. Welcome to Market Vitals. We did a couple of tests of this, but this is, I'm going to call this the maiden voyage for Market Vitals. I'm a master endotechnician, firmly in the matrix. Everything's traded digitally, man. You're either a digital trader or you're not trading. I think there are still some people screaming and yelling somewhere on a trading floor, but boy, are those days bygone days. Anyway, Market Vitals, I've been trading for a long time, and I'm recently struck by something that I heard Tony Robbins say, and he said that complexity is the killer of execution, all right? And so as you develop a trading methodology, the more complex it gets, the more difficult it is going to be to execute, first of all. Not only that, when you look at any particular trading front end and charting platform, and there's a drop-down menu for studies. Right? What are you studying? Studies are things that are supposed to help you buy and sell any particular asset. And there's hundreds of them. Obviously impossible to deploy all indicators at all times on every time frame in anything that you might be trading. So you got to pick and choose what makes sense to you. Trading is all about building a personalized methodology, something that makes sense to you, something that keeps you disciplined, something that helps you pull the trigger when you're winning, and more importantly, sometimes when you're losing. How to get out of losers. You can't be holding on to losers and expect to be a good trader long term. Anyway, Market Vitals, we will cover in this segment, to begin with, just a few, but going forward, lots of different assets, and we're going to cover them from the frame point of how we look at markets on our blockchain vital sheet and our market vital sheet, meaning a pivot model, value range trading, and standard deviation trading. All right. And like always, if you've been watching on Blockchain Vitals, we'll get to do the rounds also. So I get to yap a little bit. Doing the rounds, my chance to talk about something I'm seeing in any particular asset class that I might be trading. And I've been trading hogs for a while, and I wanted to bring this article up to everybody's attention because this is it encapsulates the difficulty of trading so well, especially when you're talking about fundamental analysis, fundamental news, and there's so much news that drives markets now. Lately, you're just one tweet away from fame or famine. And speaking of famine, there's a situation going on in China, if you're not familiar with, called ASF, African swine fever. And it has decimated up to 20% of their hog population or hog herd, which is a giant number. All right, it's that 20% of their hog herd is more than all of the hogs that are produced in the United States. But here's the problem: is that information is very difficult to get on exactly what is going on there. Not only that, even what you would think would be easily definable information out of the USA, it's not. The headline is "The Mystery of Just How Much U.S. Pork is Going to China." We have two government agencies that are supposed to be compiling this data. Neither one of them taking into account the incredible amount of split carcass that's going to China. So fundamentally, it's very difficult to peg what's going on. And believe me, this market has been the most vicious, the most difficult market to trade. And when you just pinned your idea on the fundamental reality that sooner or later they're going to need just an incredible amount of pork. But that fundamental view has cost me personally and a lot of traders so much headache and grief because the fundamentals don't always play out in an orderly fashion in market discovery. And the market can stay disjointed from that fundamental outlook a lot longer than you can stay solvent. My other point on this is that sooner or later, I don't care if the government reporting agencies aren't reporting accurately how much pork is going to China. sooner or later, all of that pork going to China has to impact the cash and the product being paid for U.S. consumers for the U.S. and domestic market. My point is that trading fundamentals and news is very difficult, and even more dangerous is marrying a news or fundamental opinion when it is counter to what is happening in the price discovery. I'm just telling you, you got to be careful. So right now, again, hogs should be moonshotting, right? All the Chinese love their pork, but right now the June contract down 100 points at 91.35. And just not acting particularly explosive again today, down another 100. Anyway, let's take the vitals because I want to continue on price discovery and talk SPOOs. Taking the vitals, that's my chance to actually interact with our market vitals sheet, which is here, which is not available to the general public just yet. Longtime subscribers know this sheet, and I just wanted to talk about again here. You have a pivot model on the left, a value range there in the middle, and this is for today's S&P action. And the right side is the standard deviation modeling that if you're familiar with the sheet, you're so familiar with. Now, for me, the SPOOs here, obviously, the news with the trade dispute with China, a global slowdown people have been talking about, recession people have been talking about. It really hadn't shown up on the chart for a while, but it certainly is now. And now, although we have penetrated that lower momentum level, 28.42 in the SPOOs, for me, it's important for a longer-term view of a bearish outlook here. You need to close below 28.42. The other thing that I'm going to mention here, and I mention it all the time beginning of the week, is that weekly fractal. And the weekly SPOO, that lower momentum level it's actually the up momentum level in the weekly SPOOs is 28.07. So if we close today below 28.42, the way this thing is doing, I was going to say if they close below 28.02 or 28.42, they got a chance to go trade 28.07. In this market, they got a chance to do it next bracket. But longer term, we closed below 28.07 on the weekly. Now we really got some added fuel to the retracement fire. Let's call it that way. And barring something happening with a deal with China, I think we just continue to expose lower prices here in the SPOOs. So that's what I'm seeing in the SPOOs. That's what we are short right now. And looking for a confirmation of continued weakness on a close below 28.42. Right now, SPOOs trading, where are they? 28.49 half right now in the SPOOs. So they were below that 28.42 level, came back above it. For me, it's how have you closed, man? What have you done for me lately? That's how I view markets. So the close is very important for me. And a close, as I said, below 28.42 should ping us to that weekly level at 28.07, and we'll see what the market wants to do against that longer-term level. Hey, we talked blockchain, and so this is going to be fun to do here, all in one segment. So for goodbye, SPOOs, and let's bring up Bitcoin. And Bitcoin right now trading 77.71. And I've told the crew last night that I was long here, but I didn't want to see us close out of UPMO on the daily, 78.98. So I am being very attentive, right, to this chart. We need a rally here in Bitcoin through the rest of this day, or I will pitch my longs. And we need to get them back above 78.98, that up momentum level, for me to want to stay involved. Anyway, right now struggling at 77.71 at Bitfinex. And that's what I'm looking at. All right, listen, thank you so much for watching this this first episode of Market Vitals, first real episode. And stay tuned, as tomorrow I'll bring in another episode. I will cover something other than S&Ps. And I thank you so much for watching. Please get over to EndoTech.io and subscribe for all of the actionable trading information in the pipeline, on the pipeline, coming down the pipeline. and available as we speak. Thank you so much for watching.